Welcome to the Growth Shift. I'm David Zilstra. Here's what I've learned after years in business. Every leader who's built something meaningful has a story, but the moment they had to shift, when failure forced innovation, when change became opportunity, when they chose growth over comfort. On this show, we dive into those pivotal moments, the setbacks that became breakthroughs, the strategic shifts that accelerated growth, and the frameworks that turned obstacles into opportunities. Because here's the truth. In a world where change is the only constant, the leaders who thrive aren't the ones who avoid failure. They're the ones who've learned to shift strategically through it. So whether you're facing your own pivot point or just want to learn from someone who's been there, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. This episode is brought to you by Valentix. At Valentix, we help B2B coaches and consultants who are struggling with generating consistent, high-quality leads, automating their client onboarding processes, and scaling their operations without simply adding more hours or headcount. Most of the time, our clients come to us frustrated because they're bogged down in manual tasks and feel like they're missing out on the power of modern technology. But with the right strategy and AI-powered solutions, they're able to streamline their workflows, attract better opportunities, and achieve sustainable growth. If that sounds like you or someone you know, learn more at valentix.io. Now let's dive into today's episode. Today on The Growth Shift, we're joined by Dr. Amir Kahani, a visionary leader with over 25 years in high tech, who has uniquely blended neuropsychoanalysis with business strategy. Amir is the architect of the value selling organization concept, a mission-driven approach to business that prioritizes profit with purpose. He's also a prolific author exploring ethics in sales and an avid user of AI to drive impactful solutions. Amir's insights challenge conventional thinking and offer a refreshing perspective on how businesses can thrive by contributing to a society's well-being. Amir, welcome to The Growth Shift.
Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me, and it is my pleasure being with you.
It's a pleasure having you on the show today. Now, Amir, you have a pretty dynamic background, transitioning from a high-tech CEO with 2 startups to integrating neuropsychoanalysis into business. Could you walk us through this journey and how your experiences, including your time as a Chinese medical therapist, shaped your unique approach to business today?
Thank you for the question, because yes, I had an unbelievable journey in my life. Everything started when I was 42 years old. I was a CEO of a software company. We had a summer event around the pool, and I don't know why. Suddenly I stood up, I looked on the employees and the family, and at that moment I decided that I ended my career in the high tech after more than 25 years.
You just decided to end the career.
End the career. I don't know why, but it was something from the spiritual level, something deep inside that even though that it was 25 years ago, I cannot explain it. And something, I have a calling, if I may call it in this way. So one moment, I decided that I changed my life. I didn't knew where to, what I will do, where God will take me. However, after I close my company, sold it, and say goodbye to everybody, I asked myself, okay, what I'm going to do now? I decided that I'm not continue with my software or tech environment. What next? And then one of my colleagues shared with me, she told me, listen, you know, there is a class that is open up right now in the Chinese medicine. Take a look. And that decision changed my life. I practice Zen Shiatsu, Ayurveda, Kobido. I'm quite familiar that 95% of your audience are not familiar with the term Kobido because it's really a very specific treatment. It's a Japanese facial massage. And I start working in this, actually taking care of people, a cancer, people that was sick in cancer, and I gave them some healing. And one night, after a couple of years that I was deep inside and work and help people to feel better, one night a lady that has a cancer almost died under my hand. So at that moment, I said, okay, I had enough. I said to God, thank you for this journey. I understand that life is a simple one. However, but we are not treating it in the proper way. And the same like the Western doctors, that each one of them specialized in very particular topic. And the opposite is the Chinese medicine that see you as an holistic person. That's what I did in business. Why? Because today the CEO has a problem in his company. Let's just, for the sake of this example here, there's sales problems. He called to coach, sales training, sales education, whatever you will call it. But it's not the issue. It's not the problem. Because you cannot separate sales from the organization. Like when you have a pain in your neck, it might be from your other parts of your body. And in the Western world, nobody sees the holistic way. That's what I adopt in my unique business methodology called VSO. It's value selling organization, and you can play with the words value organization, selling value, selling organization. Everything is connected to everything, and that's what I'm doing currently. I try to support and serve customer to improve their results. However, not only for profit, but for making good to the society. And that's the term that you mentioned before, profit with purpose.
Amazing. So Amir, I mean, you're sharing a story here that I think most people never expected that they would hear. A high-tech CEO, 25 years in his career, of course doing well to the point where you could sell your company if you wanted to, and you went to work hands-on in naturopathic medicine and care, right? I mean, you took a step back that most people would look at and say, wow, like I could never make that transition, going to work a lowly job, treating people with my hands after, being a very successful CEO. But through that, it sounds like you learned some pretty incredible lessons that really reshaped not just your approach to business, but perhaps, rebirthed your passion in business as well. You mentioned an experience of treating a patient who, with cancer who nearly died, and that is what ultimately brought an end to your time in that field. But what do you think were some of the primary lessons that you learned that allowed you to take a new and fresh approach to business?
I have some uncommon view on life. Well, I don't need to tell you the current situation that is across the globes. Plenty of hate, plenty of uncertainty. The economics is up and down, depends on the mood of this president or another president. Wars, problems of, I will say, not feeling that it is a safe place to live. And what I learned is that life is a beautiful thing. The only things that we need to do is be willing to live our ego. You're a human being, I'm a human being. If I will cut your hand, the same blood will be like I will cut my hand. We have the same spirit. So why we should fight one each other? Let's cooperate. This is one thing. The second, and more important for the business aspect, is that businesses see themselves as an isolated unit. I want to earn, I want the money, I want to be a leader, I want to lead the market, I want to be number one, etc., etc., etc. Now ask yourself, as a father, would you look only on your behalf or on your children's behalf, your family behalf, the well-being of your uncles, your friends, meaning you are not alone in the party, and all the time you think about the others. It's you, your children, or your father, your parents, you, your wife, your children, and so on and so on. Let's do the same in business. And one crucial thing that changed the way that we need to do business is as follows. Don't sell to your paying customer in B2B because he is not your customer.
What do you mean by that?
Yes, listen carefully. Your customer is your customer's customer, meaning you have your paying customer that pay you for the solution, but he has other customers. You, the father, I have 4 kids and 4 grandchildren. So I pay attention to my kids. I love them a lot, but I'm also looking on their kids, on my grandchildren. So as a CEO, I know that the paying customer is the first line. However, I am not selling to him. I serve him in order that he will be able to reach his business goals in front of his clients. Now, when you think and act in that way, what you gain is a triple win. Win for the seller, win for the buyer, and win to the stakeholders through the entire value chain. Everybody wins.
This is incredible. I love that analogy used as well of thinking in terms of, being a father. It's not just your children you're having influence on, but your grandchildren as well. Right? So it sounds like, when you left or when you sold your company as a tech CEO and you stepped into alternative healthcare, right? You were willing and ready to let your ego go, and that is what showed you a new approach to business and life, a new appreciation for life and where you were at, realizing that perhaps this patient that I'm treating right now, they are in essence the same as me, right? We both bleed red. And through that realization of this organic approach and understanding to life, you realize that in business it should be the same, right? You're not just focused on selling for the sake of your organization, but it's the impact that you can have on your client and their clients and buyers through that as well. Because at the end of the day, if you can't actually have a tangible impact and be adding value to your own market or target clients, you ultimately won't be able to help them help their clients, which is the goal. And I believe this is what brought that analogy in play, right? Now, this is very interesting. I'd love to learn a little bit more, Amir. What is it that you're focused on today with Value Selling Organization? Who is it that you're working with and help?
I will answer your question. However, with your permission, I would like to highlight one thing.
Please do.
There is no such a word like value. Yes, in the English language, you will find the word value. But in business, value is a soft term, depends on the circumstances, your culture, your background, your needs, your situation, and other. For example, I don't know if you have a glass of water in front of you. Great. So let me ask you one question. You have a glass of water. Now I come and offer you right now, another glass of water. How much are you willing to pay for the extra water?
Probably not much unless I'm very thirsty.
Let's say for the sake of the conversation, let's say $1. Okay, we'll have something. Imagine this: Sahara Desert, middle of the summertime. You're walking the Sahara Desert without water for a week, and I offer you the same glass. Now, how much are you willing to pay?
As much as I have and more.
So how can I use the term value when I have the same product, but you, as a buyer, face different situation? That's why I created a unique term called UBC, Unique Business Contribution, monetize, precise, results-oriented, and give you, my customer, understanding what will be your results, what you will gain from using my solution. So instead of value, I created a unique concept called unique business contribution that flip the way that we are doing business.
Yeah, you've got an incredible approach to business and the ethos that you bring to it as well. How you're not just helping your client, but you're focusing on their client as well and the impact down that chain. Can you tell us a little bit more about specifically who it is that you work with and how you help them achieve this?
Basically, in general speaking, this method was implemented in different sectors, from self-employed up to companies of hundreds of millions of dollars. Why? Because we are human beings. And when I added neuropsychoanalysis aspect into my VSO concept, it changed everything, because I'm not talking with you by metrics. I work with you on your physical and psychology level. So, however, I bring with me a deep understanding of the high tech. In 1987, 1988, created and are programming what we know today like Google. I did it with Assembler, Turbo Pascal, communication, everything I wrote by myself. So I know everything from inside. Therefore, I decided to focus on the tech environment, SaaS and deep tech, because I truly believe that those are the sectors that change the world, especially today with the AI. Therefore, they should look, understand, work, and implement the VSO as a profit with purpose. I love capitalism. I think it's a great way, but not in the way that we are facing today, the aggressive one. We must we must have some passion. We have trust, transparency, create ethics into our business as a way to increase our profit. And in my book, you can see it here, in my book, I was able to demonstrate that when you combine ethical activities, ethical leadership, ethical behavior within your organization, your profit will increase dramatically. So I'm looking for tech companies that really want to achieve a couple of things. One, improve their profit. Second, create a solution that will improve the society well-being and that they will be able to leave a positive mark on the society. Because at the end, we are all going in the same direction. Nobody stay alive here. So ask yourself, what is the legacy that you want to leave behind you? Just that you, Elon Musk, that you are the richest person? Or maybe you are Mr. John that create a better society for your neighbors, for your families, for your country. So instead of looking only on yourself, and that's what I learned of the Chinese medicine and Chinese philosophy, I'm also a teacher on Tai Chi. I have a black belt on karate. I teach and I'm certified coach on those martial arts. So all those Far East point of view, it's the being ethics and human being and holistic. So everything is tied into the business. And if you know, and if somebody hears us that he is a CEO or a top executive of tech company that want to leave a positive mark on the society, for his family, for his life, for his country, I'll be more than willing to work with him to achieve his goals.
So you're primarily working with tech companies, makes sense with your extensive background in the industry and in the space itself, and you're helping these companies increase their profit and their impact, it sounds like, by helping them recognize the value that they want to contribute and aligning that within the organization of the morals, the ethics, the values, the goal, the vision, helping them find alignment and understand what they're doing so they can have a greater impact. Now, these things seem like they should be intuitive to business leaders, right? Would you say, what is the bigger challenge that you would say that you're seeing in this space? Is it companies who don't see these things, that don't recognize them and are suffering as a result? Or is it more common that leaders will recognize these are moves that they need to make and changes they need to make, but just not sure how to actually make that happen?
Yes, this is partial issues. I think, and it's very, I appreciate the human nature, and you can read in the Bible and in the Far East philosophy in every places with psychology and whoever you will ask. We as a human being are seeking to be in our comfort zone. Now what happened? Since the middle of the 70s in the last century, the philosophy of Professor Milton Friedman and others, they create a system that, if you will examine it, you will see that from the 70s up to now, the same way of thinking. I will sell you, my customer, my paying customer, I will check what is your needs, I will try to convince you, I will make an aggressive marketing, etc., etc., etc. Suddenly, I came to this CEO or top executives in the age of 35, 40, 45, 50, and actually what I'm saying, listen, I bring you a different way of thinking, but for being able to adopt it, you need to be willing to go out from your comfort zone and being able to see other aspects, different concept, different mindset. And unfortunately, as a human being, we are afraid of doing this. Wow, I need to withdraw everything that I know and start implementing step by step. Not immediately. You don't change your organization at once. But first of all, you need to change your mindset. Wow. I saw it with my daughter. She's 35 years old. She's 10 years working in the industry, tech industry. And when I share with her my concept, she smile and say, Dad, move on. And she's only 35 years old. So what happened with the top executive that has more experience, that use the same method for many years? It is very difficult for them to step outside and be willing to open and get some new ideas, even though that I can assure them that they will earn more money, more profit, and leave a positive mark on the society well-being for them and for their family. And this is my biggest challenge.
No, it's quite the challenge, right? Because I think this is one of the biggest challenges that many coaches and consultants are up against, right? As individuals, we each have our own experiences and we've seen how they play out. Many coaches and consultants come to their clients and create a business with a very unique strategy and approach that has tangible results and can create great impact. But when things are very different, when they're revolutionary, a lot of people don't believe that they could work. They don't recognize them for the value that they actually hold. And it can be very difficult to go to market with these ideas. A lot of coaches and consultants are in that position where after they've helped a few people, they get great referrals, but it can be hard to break out of that referral dependency as well. Amir, for yourself, with such a revolutionary approach that is very different, especially in the world of tech, what is your approach to identifying clients that you would be able to help and attracting the right type of clients that you can help?
Question, I don't have a good answer. I think that maybe the younger generation, the top executive in the 40s, 30s, that are thinking and seeing what happened right now and want to change. And I invite them to change the word. It sounds very big words, let's change the word. No, baby step. I'm not asking you to withdraw and to crash your organization and let's start building it from scratch. No, it's step by step. It's a process. It's a process that I divided into 2 days dynamic workshop for the mindset shift, then 6 weeks sprint implementation, and then a couple of months, depending on your needs, mentoring, coaching, consulting, whatever you want. But it's really step by step, baby steps, with full guarantee and full support that I will guide you to reach your business goals. And every time that you don't feel comfortable, you can go step backward and returning back to what you know. But however, from my experience, once you understand the concept, you cannot move backward. You cannot.
Sounds like it. Sounds like it's very revolutionary and eye-opening as well. Amir, I mean, this is incredible what it is that you help businesses do and achieve, and what you show them puts them in a position that there's no going back once they understand what it is and the value that it holds, right? What is your vision? What is your vision for growth, for bringing this to a greater audience and creating a greater impact with it?
Before I will answer, I just want to take the word growth. And a couple of days ago, I finished to upgrade my VSO, and now it's VSO version 2. And I was able to demonstrate, and I check it again and again and again, that the way that I approach to reduce customer acquisition cost and increase customer lifetime value is completely different from the industry best practice. Because business best practice focus on optimizing the efficiency of customer acquisition, while VSO focus on transforming why customer choose you in the first place. So the end results is a shifting from selling better to designing organizations around measurable contribution. It's not an easy stuff, but I think that that's the right way. I try to focus on helping business create more growth when they stuck. When it's insufficient, the growth is insufficient, by reducing customer acquisition cost and increase customer lifetime value. And nowadays, I start my marketing activity in the United States more deeply, because in a couple of years ago, I focus on data-driven decision making that I also incorporated within the VSO.
Yeah, so this is, again, I'm not surprised to hear such a different approach to what many people would say their goals for growth are, right? Or just the belief around it. That's fantastic. It's absolutely incredible. And, Dr. Amir, making the jump now from, your business beliefs and your approach to where technology comes into play for you. I'd love to chat a little bit about what it is that you're doing and what you're planning for your business as well. Coming from the background of it being a tech CEO, I'm sure that AI is going to play a very large part in your strategy. Where does AI come into play for you?
AI is part of our life. However, at the end of the day, AI is just a tool. Yes, with a big impact, but it is just a tool. And I use this tool in every aspect of my business life. Analyze, Excel, make a complex analytics and research on big data for my clients, SWOT analysis, marketing plan. I had the word pitch deck. There is no sense for pitch deck because I don't pitch. I serve and I bring something uniquely for you. Plenty of mathematical calculation. And a week ago, I finished a chatbot that I took my entire concept, my entire knowledge, my books, papers, whatever I did, plenty of things. For example, I have a formula. Yes, it's a 8 pages formula that can give you the accurate pricing. You don't have to copy what is going on in the market. You can get your own precise pricing based on my formula. So I take everything and create a chatbot that now I do some pilots about it, and afterward it will be part of my arsenal to help customers to achieve their business goals. So AI is part of my life in every aspect. And I think that the question that you should ask is there something that I do not use AI?
Sounds like there isn't.
Yes, there is one thing that I do not do with AI.
What is it?
I love chocolate and I cannot eat with AI. I can eat by myself.
Absolutely. Amir, I'm very curious here, right? You're saying that AI is a tool. At the end of the day, it's just a tool. You need to use it as a tool.
Yep.
A lot of people in today's world are scared by AI. AI will replace my job. AI will erase my industry. AI will remove my need and the value that I can contribute, right? You're saying it's just a tool at the end of the day. Tools are used by humans to achieve an end result. So for yourself, I'm curious, where is it that you see that the human touch and connection will always be needed if AI is just a tool and it's not the be-all and end-all?
Very simple. And I will take it to the other revolution events that we had. And for example, 1986, I got the first IBM PC, a mainframe on the size on my table. That's a huge revolution. No such a big noise. Why? Because there was not so social media. Suddenly, everybody talking about it. Every kid's become to be a millionaire because he published something. Yes, the employee will need to change the way of thinking, and new professionalism will create it. For example, ethics, ethical engineering, decision making, checking that the results of the AI is correct. With all due respect, AI at the current time is not the most accurate tools. So there are so many things. Now, like in the past, one job disappeared, the other came up. It's the history circle. I cannot predict what exactly will be needed in the future, but I know that new jobs will be created. All the issue of chatbot, all the issue of keeping the AI in the border of reality, educate people how to use it. There are so many things that will pop up during the time that only we'll see it in the future, but I don't afraid from people that will lose their jobs. Yes, it will be a big shift. It will not bring the end of the world. As long as we, the human being, will protect ourselves and be clever enough to maintain the AI under ethical borders. The same like atomic bomb. You can use it for the positive and for the negative.
Yeah, there's a lot of positive that came out of the discovery of how to split atoms, right? Of the destruction that atomic bombs hold. There was also an incredible amount of creation that came from it as well. So, Dr. Amir, speaking on ethics, it's something you mentioned there a couple of times. What do you think would be one critical ethical consideration that business leaders need to prioritize when integrating AI into their operations to ensure that it genuinely contributes to societal well-being as well as that of their company and their impact?
For my understanding, there are a couple. However, I will mention one. Trust. Today, we don't have trust. I hire a couple of service providers in the United States that picture me how I will conquer the world with their service. At the end of the day, they did nothing. One of them was the publisher of this book. So how can you promise me 8 figures, 7 figures, 6 figures, 9 figures, all these big words, fluffy words, but worthless? How can you promise me or send me an email with the beautiful, polite words, but actually doing nothing? That's not trust. This is an aggressive capitalism that everybody wants your money, but no one are willing to stand behind what I promise and fulfill your needs. Trust. Today, people do not trust one each other. There is no trust between a customer and the service provider. You buy a shirt, you see wonderful shirt, blah, 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 all this marketing stuff. But after 2 weeks, you have to throw it to the garbage. Why? You want my money? Great, I'm willing to give you, but give me the right solution for my goals. So, trust and honest, it's something that is lacked today. And from my perspective, based on my experience, the lack of trust caused one thing: lose, lose, lose.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. We're in such a trust deficit these days with everything that's going on, especially with AI, right? People are thinking, hey, this is easy. I get to use this. I get to make as much money as possible. I get to, maybe not they're thinking take advantage of other people, but I get to make money easily and, I don't have to put in a lot of effort because all the work will be done for me. The trust deficit today is real, but I'm a true believer that despite the challenges we're up against right now, especially when it comes to AI, that trust deficit will soon disappear, right? Because of the number of people who are using it unethically and because of the number of people who don't know how to use it properly and in the right way, they will soon be identified very easily. And it is the people who are contributing true value who will ultimately stand out to fix this trust issue.
Yes. So if you are a business owner, I highly encourage you to write on the homepage what are my values: trust, transparent, whatever you are believing. Write it down, follow this, create a good impact, and suddenly you will not invest so much money in marketing. Why? Because I will tell you, hey, I know a supplier, service provider. I think that you should ask his services also. And you will do it the same, the same, the same. So it's more will be established on referral than an aggressive marketing, because I don't believe in marketing anymore. They sell beautiful words, but they are not fulfill what they are promised because there is no trust. And the CEOs, instead of bringing positive impact, destroyed their company, their society, hurt their family, their kids, their wives, their parents. So think differently. Don't think about yourself. Think about the society, and you will be more profitable, more honest. Your employee will love you, and the stakeholders will say, wow, we love to work with this company.
Amir, your insights are truly thought provoking. To conclude, what is the most important piece of advice that you would offer to our audience of entrepreneurs and business owners who aspire to achieve both significant profit and meaningful purpose?
First of all, I encourage entrepreneurs in every age to seek after a problem that we face in this world. And we have plenty of problems in every aspect of our life. Take your creativity, innovate a unique product that bring contribution for the entire stakeholder and to the entire business chain. And bear in mind, take the decisions that will create a positive impact on the society well-being, and in this way you will be able to fulfill your goals, your customers and their customers will be able to fulfill their goals, and at the end of the day, maybe with God help, we will have a better world.
Amir, thank you so much for joining us today on The Growth Shift. For any of our audience who might like to connect with you online to learn more about what you're doing or to perhaps continue the conversation, what would be the best way to find you?
Please visit my website or valorg.co, or my official website is amirkahani.com. It includes ethics and lectures and workshop and of course the VSO. And you are more than welcome to connect in LinkedIn, and I try to publish valuable articles that with a deep insights, different perspective about how we do business together. And instead of selling you, I want to serve you and together with you to create a better world.
Thank you again so much for your time today.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And that's a wrap on another episode of The Growth Shift. If this conversation sparked something for you, whether it's a new perspective on failure, a strategy you want to try, or just the reminder that every setback can become a setup for something bigger, hit that subscribe button and share this with someone who needs to hear it. Remember, the leaders who thrive aren't the ones who avoid change. They're the ones who shift strategically through it. If you're ready to build the systems that help you grow without the chaos, head over to valentix.io. We help businesses like yours scale smarter, not harder. I'm David Zilstra, and I'll see you in the next shift.